What is up, watch friends? Welcome to another episode of Talking Timepieces with Tony. I'm Tony. You're the viewer. And we're going to do a drink and a Daytona. Cheers. So let's roll the intro and we'll talk about the new Daytona.
Right. You're watching Timepieces with Tony. Talking Timepieces with Tony. You're watching Talking Timepieces with Tony. Yeah.
What's up? All right, cool. So a little late to the game on the new Daytona, but the thing is that I've known about this watch just when it first came out, just like every other YouTuber. I'm just a little bit late to the game. I had other videos I was doing, and so I'm just doing it now. So let's have a drink. I got a Coors Light. Cheers. What are you guys drinking? If you're drinking, depending where you are in the world, coffee, water, wine, whiskey, whatever. It's all good. Cheers. So Rolex hasn't really blown me away with any new releases, you know what I mean? I like what I like, and I'm cool with that, you know what I mean? It's not anything I'm disappointed in, like the new Daytonas. No, I'm not talking about the 24-hour Le Mans Daytona. I'm like, that's cool, it's okay. I prefer the previous Daytonas, but anyway, it doesn't matter. The new Daytona, celebrating 100 years of the 24-hour Le Mans race, which is an endurance race. It's just where there's more to it than just racing cars, and wow, I don't know what to say other than I've just been, this is like the perfect Daytona for me. The dial is what really sets it off. You got the black dial, and the sub dials are just perfect and clean. Watch is very reminiscent of the Paul Newman Daytona. Obviously modernized, but with the same indices within the subdials. I just, when I saw this, the only critique I have on this, it's 18 karat white gold, is if they made this in steel, dude, right? However, they didn't, and they haven't. Maybe they will, but I doubt it. You're looking at a price tag of $51,400. And you've got also, it's a 40 millimeter case, of course, and you have a brand new movement, which is the 4132. So that's a movement specifically for this watch with a transparent case back, which is awesome. The only other transparent case back on a Rolex right now is the Platinum Daytona and the 1908. The 1908 is stunning as far as I'm concerned, but let's go back to the Daytona. It does have a transparent case back, and this 4132 movement has 72 hours power reserve. It's this movement specifically for this watch. One of the reasons being is that the subdials, unlike the regular Daytona, they're slightly different. Okay, so you have a 30-minute counter at the 6 o'clock, or small seconds at the 6 o'clock, 30-minute counter at the 3 o'clock, and then you have a 24-hour counter at the 9 o'clock position, which is usually a 12-hour counter. So that 24-hour, hence 24 hours of Le Mans, which is, it's cool. You know what I mean? I mean, who's ever going to really use it? But the thing is that's just a really cool thing to say. Again, the indices on the subdials, and the subdials aren't cluttered. You know what I mean? The chapter rings of the subdials on the other Submariners, they're a bit thick, and then they thinned them out, and I don't know, the aesthetic of it is a little bit different. The symmetry is a little different. This one is perfect. It is like, it's like the perfect Daytona. Again, at the price tag of $51,400. I mean, and how, is this going to be a limited watch? I mean, how readily available are they going to be? Well, that was kind of a dumb statement, really, because what's readily available, with Rolex. But I just love it. It's one of the first watches Rolex have come out with that completely blew me away. You have the red marker on the 100, on the bezel, ceramic, the ceramic bezel. It's like the watch is a perfect example, I think, of what it should be. You know what I mean? It just works. Have another sip. I love the display back on it too. I think that's really cool. Are they gonna do it in a white dial? Are they gonna do it with blah 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 sail? I honestly think they're just gonna keep that as it is. But does this also mean that they're going to? I think Rolex are gearing up to do something a little bit different. And when I say a little bit different, a lot different. You know, there's a million Rolex watches out there. You know what I mean? You can't get them at the ADs. You know what I mean? And I think, and I've said this before, that they're coming a little bit more exclusive as to who they're selling to. You know, people go, wow, they make a million watches a year. They are building another factory, right? Which will be, what, 5 to 10 years or whenever that's ready. But, you know, I think they're screening their customers a little bit more than they ever had been. Obviously, well, primarily because of the flippers, everything that happened. Although that's kind of dissipating a lot. You know, flippers can't buy watches from ADs and flip them like they used to, because you go on the secondary market, you try to sell a date you just bought, you're actually going to lose money. You know what I mean? So I think they're gearing up for something. I think they're going to try to be a little bit more exclusive, which I don't know. This is so debatable, and you know, people can nail me in the comments. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about, or whatever it is. I'm just telling you, you know, whoever tries to do that or says that, go into an AD and try to buy a freaking OP. You still can't do it, right? So there's something going on. I can't quite pinpoint it, but at the same time, it's like, I think, you know, they're being more selective on who they're selling the watches to, that's for sure. Well, they do make a million watches a year. And then, you know what, and I've said this before too, no one ever complains about Patek Philippe. Granted, they make a lot less watches per year. What do they make? About 50, 60,000 watches a year. You can't go into an AD at Patek and buy a watch either. You can't do the same thing with Richard Mille. You know, you can't do the same, you know, Vacheron, certain Vacheron models. You know, that's just the way that it is. You know what I mean? We can't change what's happening right now or what in the past. Well, I used to be able to go into an AD and get a discount and buy any watch I wanted. So did I, and I've done it, you know, but you can't do that now. Having said that, if this Daytona became available at $51,400, where do you think the secondary market on this watch would be if it'll get there eventually, won't it? I mean, look at the Patek 5711 Tiffany blue dial, you know what I mean? Who would have ever thought that watch that retailed at, I think about $50,000, about the same price, would sell for $6.5 million, you know what I mean? And now I think they're still trending around 2 or 3 million, aren't they? But, you know, so I guess my point is, it's like, it's great to say, hey, look, Rolex came out with the fucking perfect Daytona that no one's going to be able to get. You're truly going to have to be someone special to get that watch, I think. You know what I mean? I don't think, you know, it's really going to be a select few who get that watch. So having said that, I love the watch, and, you know, I was just blown away by it. I just think it's a stunning watch, and it's the perfect Daytona for me. It's out of my price range. It's way out of my price range. So, you know, I'm not going to be getting one anytime in the near future, if ever, I'm sure. But I just wanted to do my little take on it. I appreciate everyone who likes, subscribes as usual, and you guys are awesome. So take care, and we'll see you on the next one. All right, bye.